I only really have vague memories of the 2020 first-person horror made of Sker, and that's probably because I didn't find much in it that I couldn't get from other horror games like it. That said, I always respect a company that tries something outside of its wheelhouse. In this case, Welsh developer Wales Interactive took a big leap moving from full-motion video projects like Late Shift to one of many games taking advantage of Amnesia's massive success years prior. Based on the reviews, I'm in the minority about my feelings toward Made of Sker, so I can perfectly understand why the company would release another game in the Skerverse. Not really entirely sure why they decided to swap an atmospheric horror game to a CoD Zombies knockoff though. But big change worked before, so why wouldn't it again? Sker Ritual is a simplistic game that relies very heavily on the Zombies formula. Mostly, the game has you running around decent-sized maps, trying desperately to stay out of arm's reach of various creatures trying to be violently mean to you.
My great-grandfather Jebediah's crew to live in this cottage.
And that is where Sker has the advantage over something like CoD Zombies. I've been saying for years that it's insane we haven't seen a dedicated zombie-focused game from Call of Duty. I mean, it'd be full of microtransactions, skin packs, and teenagers trying to violently hurt my feelings, but it'd sell well. And the ability to build on the formula with unlockables, enemy variety, and locations would only be the gnarly undead cherry on top. So Sker Ritual is a game that appeals quite a lot to me, and I'm happy to say that in all three of those regards, it excels. The maps all have their own themes that keep them distinct when playing multiple levels in a row, the enemy variety is decently impressive and keeps the gameplay loop changing just enough to keep the monotony at bay, and the unlockable upgrades give a reason to keep playing, even when you die right at the literal end after like an hour and a half of playing and just a few more shots and that... okay. Another big difference that separates Ritual from games like CoD Zombies or Killing Floor 2 is that there actually is a way to end the nightmare that doesn't involve killing the Horde or getting killed yourself. A series of light puzzles and dangerous busy work lead the player to a final showdown that then allows you to escape. It sounds easy, but trying to escort a small lamb while being gangbanged by fire and knives can get very chaotic. If you fancy treating it as an endless wave mode, there's nothing stopping you. That said, the ability to end the madness makes map exploration seem more purposeful, something that Killing Floor and Zombies never managed to achieve for me. I love the addition of mission-focused challenges because it completely adds a new dimension to the way you have to play. Most of the missions are fairly simple, but it takes time to figure them out if you're new to a level. However, taking your time means killing more enemies, and killing too many enemies can progress the wave to a point you're unable to keep up with the increase in tougher enemies. It gives a sense of constant pressure and keeps the energy of a match high, while also making the gaps between waves much more important than any other game in the genre. If you need to figure something out, you've got to do it in that time period or you're in for a fight again. It's not all hunky-dory though. While Made of Sker never enthralled me, I did have a lot of appreciation for its unique Welsh folklore influences. It's a type of horror and place we don't often see, and watching that get dropped for a fairly generic evil experiment type angle feels kind of like a step backwards. The story does seem to be a continuation of the previous game in the series, and a quick Google search tells me it makes the bad ending from Made the canonical ending. I don't really give a shit though. Needing to understand the lore was firmly placed in the backseat for the sequel, as the game only really explores the story through collectible notes. To be perfectly honest though, if you saw this gameplay and came looking for a nuanced story, you only let yourself down. It also has a couple of pretty bad sound design choices that I really wish I could just turn off. I don't know why they went with this sound or why they went with them as loud, but I wouldn't mind that changing, please. Ritual is a louder foray into horror for Wales Interactive, and it doesn't always pay off. But for a team of 5 developers trying something new, I can't say I'm not impressed. I'm not claiming Ritual is a masterpiece, it's incredibly simplistic, and its DNA is so intrinsically tied to CoD Zombies that it'll be hard to convince any die-hard fans that it's worth swapping over. And a few performance issues with stuttering when too many enemies fill the screen at once does hold this back a little. But, as far as I'm concerned, Wales Interactive saw a gap in the market and opted to explore a genre they'd never ventured into before, which led to this budget title that scratches all the itches it's meant to scratch. The way I see it, we've been given two options. Those wanting a slow burn ghost narrative with heavy focus on stealth have Made of Sker, while anyone looking for a brain dead endless horde shooter that isn't killing floor 2 have Sker Ritual. Or you could just have both. Thanks for watching the video. I just want to give a very quick shout out to Wales Interactive for giving me a copy of Ritual to review, despite a past video where I absolutely trashed one of their previous FMV games. Anyone that can take harsh criticism and still come back without taking it personally are always appreciated by me. If you want to see that video, I'll link our review of The Bunker in the description. You can also find a link to our Patreon there. We'd love if you wanted to support new content, but honestly, I'm just happy you reached this point of the video. Like and subscribe if you want. Either way, thank you again for watching, and cheers.